Hello, I'm Naomi and welcome to my presentation. Tonight I'm looking at Article Matrix Topic 2, Does Taste Aversion Therapy for Alcoholism Produce Behavioural Change? Now, the article I'm looking at is by Elkins. It's Taste Aversion Retention, an animal experiment with implications for consumatory aversion alcoholism treatments. The rationale for this experiment is previous taste aversion animal experiment results have implications for alcohol treatment. Emetic therapy appears to be more effective than electric shock therapy or verbal aversion therapy. Some subjects of emetic therapy failed to display nausea. These subjects displayed an unusually high rate of recidivism. Taste aversion in rats is known to be dose dependent. This applies to both the initial magnitude and the longevity of the aversion. Generally, the higher the dose, the greater and longer lasting the aversion. Even in successfully conditioned subjects, aversion longevity can be weakened, either by extinction or by forgetting. Extinction in this situation usually occurs via small samplings of the stimulus without the unpleasant consequence. Forgetting occurs where the subject fails to show conditioned response at the first subsequent sampling of the stimulus. Forgetting, as a function of different initial aversion magnitudes caused by different dosages, could therefore be investigated. Aims and hypotheses. The aim of this experiment is to measure the effectiveness of dosage on initial aversion magnitudes and also measuring forgetting as a function of taste aversion. The hypothesis is that forgetting as a function of initial aversion magnitude is related to later recidivism. The participants are 108 male Sprague-Dawley rats. These rats were developed in the 1920s and have been widely used as laboratory research animals since that time. They're experimentally naive, not having gone through experiments before, approximately 90 days old at the beginning of the experiment. They're housed in commercial wire cages, maintained under a natural light-dark cycle, and they have free access to standard lab food and water, except during deprivation periods. The subjects were randomly assigned to one of 16 lots, and then each lot was randomly assigned to one of 4 dosage groups. So there's low, medium, high, and control group. They're deprived of food and water before the test period. That's 28 hours without fluid, and then 4 hours without food. They're allowed free access to sodium saccharide solution. That's a solution that rats enjoy. So once they're given this solution, they have it for at least 10 minutes, and it's allowed from at least 5 minutes from the first drink. 4 to 6 minutes after removal of the sodium saccharide solution, the rats are injected with the conditioning fluid, whether that's saline or the cyclophosphamide. It's known as cytoxin. One of each dosage group was then assigned to a delay squad. So immediate testing after the injection, and then there's 10, 20 or 40 day delays. During the delay, each squad has free access to water and food. Following each group's delay, testing was a 30-day period of standard 2-bottle preference. The key results, they've been put into a graph here for ease of seeing, but we'll look in a bit more detail. The control group, across all categories, there was no significant change. Low dosage in the immediate group, initially moderately strong aversion, which was rapidly lost. The medium dosage group initially had a strong aversion, although that was somewhat weakened towards the end, and the high dosage group with initially strong aversion, also somewhat weakened towards the end. In the 10-day delay, the low dosage group initially had moderate aversion, which was rapidly lost. The medium dosage initially had a quite strong aversion, although that also was rapidly lost. And then the high dosage group, initially strong aversion, slightly weakened at the end. The 20-day delay group, low dosage group, initially it was a weak aversion that was rapidly lost. The medium dosage group, initially a strong aversion, although quite weakened towards the end, and then the high dosage group, initially strong aversion, slightly weakened at the end. 40-day delay, low dosage group, no significant change, very much like the control group. The medium dosage group initially had a moderate aversion, which was completely lost at the end of the testing period, and the high dosage group initially had a strong aversion, slightly weakened by the end of it. So the conclusions were that low dose aversions were highly vulnerable to degradation through extinction, usually through small samples. Low dose aversions were forgotten over the 20 and 40-day post-conditioning intervals. Medium dose aversions, although initially quite strong, were vulnerable to both extinction and forgetting, confirmed in the 40-day delay test. So the conclusions here really are that during covert sensitization alcoholism treatment, a major effort should be made to induce intense nausea. That seems to help the conditioning to really stick. Now, limitations or things that could be done differently. Well, see how long it would take for the high dosage group to forget. So try a 60-day, 80-day and 100-day delay. Rats are similar to humans, but they're not the same as humans, so the results are not directly applicable. So a similarly designed study with human participants could yield results that are immediately applicable in the field of alcohol treatment. And there you have the references for this talk. And thank you very much for listening.